Shalom. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you too. Okay, live on YouTube. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you too. Mute this. There we go. And we start recording. Sweet. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll. I can start sharing my screen. A lot to talk about today. We'll wear the black glasses today. Okay, so happy Sunday. Welcome to Spiritual Sunday. And if this is the first time you've been here, every Sunday at 10:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are here and just sharing the good stuff. No fluff, just all good stuff. Practical things around spirituality and how we can take it to the next level. How can we raise the vibrations up in here? I don't know why DMX came to my mind. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. It just came to my mind. So it's all about the light. How can you raise the light? How can you increase the light? How can you share the light? And light is in the form of love, of knowledge, of energy, all those things. So today, I know this is his third time. I think Michelle has graced us with her presence. So I don't know if I can call you a guest co-host. I think you're just like a co-host now. You got to drop the guest. If somebody comes over to your crib 3 times, you got to get them chores. I'm just saying. That's how the Harrises roll. So today we're going to talk about channeling. We're going to talk about receiving it and also giving it. So it's a very, very hot topic, very deep topic. And it's put in a way. It's put in a way so that no matter if you're a beginner or if you're super duper spiritual, if you're floating over your bed right now watching this Zoom, you're still going to learn something. Don't float away. Stay there. All right. So here we go. This is what our group does in general. So the whole purpose of what we do is to increase the light in the world. And the way we try to increase the light in the world is that once a month, which means next Sunday, we have a global meditation and people all over the globe meditate. And we have a guided meditation. It's one that's done based off the numerology of the day. That's right. That's how we bring it. Not just a regular old meditation, but we look at what the universe is saying about that day. And then we all meditate around that particular topic. So the goal is to have 24 hours eventually where somebody's meditating. So if it's 8 a.m. where Colleen is, somebody's meditating somewhere in the world. 9 a.m., somebody's meditating. 10 a.m., somebody's meditating. 11, 12, boom, 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 boom. And that is going to happen as we continue to grow. And you can do that meditation individually on your own, or you can do it with the group. If you want to do it individually, go to willpowerlightworker.com, sign up on our member list there. Say, hey, I want to be a light worker. Hey, I want to meditate and add light to the world. And you will get a link to that month's guided meditation too. Or you can show up with the rest of the peeps at 10:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and meditate all together. It's totally up to you. Any way you decide to do it, you're adding light to the world. So that's the purpose of what we do. And on Sundays, we have topics around meditation, around alchemy, around healing. And I'm going to say today's topic really falls under healing, because I think that when you channel, when you bring in messages from a higher place, that's healing too. So with that, that's what we do. Now, Anybody here who is new, I'll give you a chance to have a shout out. If this is your first time coming on, if you could, just feel free to unmute yourself so we can say hi. Also, so we can see if we can kind of customize what we're going to go over today and give you what you're looking for. If you can tell us your name, your spiritual background, like I'm Christian, I'm Buddhist, I'm spiritual. Why today? What was it about today's session that made you want to come? And it's open to anybody.
So my thing says Cindy Funky, but this is Helen Langor. Somehow I logged in under my daughter. I am Christian, and today I just wanted to see how this whole session went.
That's awesome. My wife, that name's a little bit better. My wife's employee got on Zoom, and it was on her daughter's account, and it was like, too sexy for you. And she was like, you change that name? No, I don't know how.
Will, you met Helen at my retreat. Helen was at my retreat, so you met her.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you again.
Kylie's going to introduce herself. She's here with me.
Okay.
Hi, Kylie. I'm new to all of this spiritual stuff, but Michelle told me about it today, so I thought it would be interesting to try.
Well, at the very least, you're going to have a lot of fun. It ain't going to be boring. We're so glad to have you. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Amy, I saw you took that drink of water. I thought that was because you were going to talk. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm going to say something nice.
It's a smoothie, actually. It's just getting up. My name is Amy Stephanie. I came here last night. I was actually telling my friend that it's kind of hard to find a network of people who talk about these things. And so I wanted to kind of build a community around that, or actually join a community around that, because it's not very commonplace. So that's why I'm here today. And my spiritual background is I'm spiritual.
Sweet. So Amy, we're so glad you're here, and we totally understand. That's the reasons why we had this group, so you can come to a virtually safe place where you can talk about whatever you want to. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, you crazy. We'll be like, for real? Really? So welcome. Glad to have you here. Anyone else? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll then. So everybody, thank you for introducing yourself. I see my brother Razi's hopping on in a second. So we'll let him in, and then we will launch. So here we go. All right, cool. This is what we're going to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the group process. We already went over what we do, why we do it. The group's goal, that too, as well. So next Sunday, group meditation, global group meditation. I think we have a few peeps on from India today. I think I see 1, 2, 3, 4 people there. And we're going to start off talking about the spiritual mindset. So channeling, what is it? And how do you receive it? And then also, how do you give? How can you be a channel for somebody? So yesterday I was watching, I was trying to see if I had his book. I don't know if you can see it on the bookcase. Robin Williams is, I have his biography. And yesterday I was watching an HBO documentary on Robin Williams. And it dawned on me that what Robin Williams really was a channeler. Robin was an excellent channeler. And that a lot of what he did was just channeling the energies, the personas of others. And he did that so well that it was less of him telling a joke and more of him accurately being a clear and constant channel. And when he prepared to go out on stage, what he would do is, and he was like an ADHD, all over the place type person, somebody who just talks all the time, right? But what he would do is right before he went on stage, he would get real quiet and he would just find his spot. So much so that people thought that he may be sleeping and wanted to wake him up for his performance, when really he was just touching into all that is. So we're going to talk about how you get in that spiritual mindset and look at a few of those things that we covered before, because repetition increases your memory. And it's almost like a spiritual warm. It's like you came here to exercise. Amy's like, wait a minute. I ain't signed up for no exercise. I ain't know how to run. But it's kind of like, when you show up to the gym, you got to have a warm up, like 1 and 2 and 3. It's like, okay, now we can get to it. So we're going to have a spiritual warm up. Don't worry, Amy. Don't log off or nothing. It's a spiritual warm up where we're going to get the energy flowing. And then we're all get in a state of mind where we'll be able to have more information coming through. Because Michelle's in the house. Michelle's in the house. What? And Michelle's going to do some channeling. And when we get there, I'm going to set the stage and she will download, let it flow, some information for all of us to receive from either our guardians, higher beings, spirits, angels, whatever name you use. And then after that, with the remaining time, we have a discussion. So all in all, we got an hour and a half of some good fun, good loving that we'll have up in here. So let's rock and roll. Cool. All right. So one of the things that I talked about, and for those of you that are new and those of you who have seen before, let's just get in the stage so we can get warmed up for what's going to happen. So you can't astral travel. Astral travel is sending your consciousness, the essence, the core of what you are, sending it somewhere. And the first place we can start sending it is within our own body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through a quick exercise as we go through these and warm up. And the first one is, I want everyone to close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just inhale and exhale, and just become conscious of your breathing. We're going to get into a meditative state, but we're not going to be in a deep trance. So with your eyes closed, in the center of your head, there's something called the pineal gland. The pineal gland. It's like a round pea. And just imagine you're focusing on your pineal gland. Now, from your pineal gland, with your eyes still closed, imagine that you're looking at your forehead, that you're pushed up against your forehead from the inside. And then lower your awareness to your eyes. Okay, got that. Now down to your nose. Got that. Now down to your mouth. Just let your consciousness fall. Now imagine your consciousness is going down like an elevator. And now you're on your neck. Now, let your consciousness fall a little bit further. Let it go down to your heart. And you may feel like you're just inside of your heart, looking from the inside, feeling the love in the center of your chest, your spiritual heart. Now, we're going to raise back up from the heart, raise your consciousness back up to your neck. There we go. Now from your neck, go up to your mouth. From there, go up to your nose, then your eyes. Now go back to the center, your pineal gland. Okay, and we're locking back in place there. And you just say, it is done. And then open your eyes. Okay. So a short, quick exercise. What that was about was, it was about traveling down your body. And what we're going to do today is we're going to travel down, and then we want to even travel up. But one of the things that helps us is being able to have your crown chakra open. If you ever saw halos that people have behind them, let's see, I was trying to see if I had any pictures. No, just something that's up over there. Maybe I can do this. All right. You guys see that? That's a picture by this guy named Alex Gray. And Alex Gray is did that one too. Alex Gray is a spiritual artist. This is how he sees people. So when you see pictures of mostly, oh, not all, because I've seen some around Krishna too, the halo around Jesus' head or Krishna's head or Buddha's head, that's because their crown chakras open up so wide that they were, this is their aura. This is the energy that they project out, that they see. So, I fix my camera back. There we go. Okay, cool. So what you see here, right, if you look at the right, this is an example of someone who aura is not activated. So when I look at people, I can see their auras if they are behind a light background for me. Okay. Like Amy. Amy has a light background behind her, so I can see hers. And sometimes I see people look like on the right, and sometimes I see people look like on the left, where that crown is fully activated. So most people who down with spiritual stuff, and if you're not and you knew, just think of the chakras as energies. And I'm going to go through that because you have to be like a well-tuned piano. It's up to us to be in tune so that the universe, so that God can play us. So your chakras need to be balanced, need to be aligned. They need to be open. You can be hungry, but if you go to IHOP and the door's closed, you'll be hopping someplace else to eat. And it's the same thing with the chakras. You got to have them open so the energy can flow through, so the messages can flow through. Even receiving it. You can have some people, you ever kick the truth to somebody and you're like, oh man, this is the straight truth. I got to tell her about this. And she's like, no, I disagree. No, I'm not hearing it. No. Well, if her chakras are closed or blocked, even your understanding, it resonated with me. That's what people say. But if we're going to personify, if we're going to actualize, what does that mean when someone says, well, it just resonated with me? I just knew. It meant that vibrationally, they were open. The chakras were open. The messages were able to come through. When they heard it, they just didn't hear it physically. They heard it spiritually. Just like when I went to Alex Gray's ashram in New York, I met people there who could smell colors, who could feel colors, who could have their eyes closed and just put the hand over it, and they could tell you what color it was. That their backs could be turned, and somebody could walk in and be like, oh, somebody just walked in wearing blue. All of these things are vibrational in nature. So what we did was we have this exercise where if you do this every day for 2 weeks, okay? If you do this every day for 2 weeks, your crown chakra at the top, right? Crown chakra will be open. It wouldn't be looking lumpy like this, right? It's like, oh, I think my chakra got scoliosis. We have to work on that. So here's how you do it. And we're going to go through this exercise really quick, and don't overthink it, and just trust that your spirit is going to allow things to happen. So right here, this is the first activation. We're going to imagine that there's a light going from where your pineal gland is inside your head, light going up, light going down. This number 2 is actually your ear. Okay, going in one ear, going out the other. Number 3 is right here, looking at your third eye. And then when we finish this, a 4th ray will just come down. And we're going to hold that in position. But I'll talk you through it as we go through it right now. Take your left hand, okay, and with your left hand, put it on top of your forehead, okay, all right, and then from right there, close your eyes and imagine that from the center of your head, inside your pineal gland, that a ray of light leaves there and shoots out through where your left hand is, through your palm. And that light will extend out past your head, and whatever length that ray feels it should go, there you go. Now take your right hand and put it in the back of your neck, just as if that ray was coming down in a straight line diagonally. And now, starting from the pineal gland, shoot that ray out through your back hand. Now you set the intention that that ray will stay there. And you should do this for a minute. So once you set the intention that those rays of light will stay there, you take your left hand and you can open your eyes. You take your left hand, you place it on your left ear. You take your right hand, you place it on your right ear. Hopefully not too close so that you can't hear me walking you through this exercise. So now what you do is focus on the pineal gland in the center of your head again, and I'll shoot that ray to your left out through your hand as far as the light will go. Keeping in mind that first ray we did is still there, it's still activated. Now shoot the ray from the center out to the right. Whatever naturally you feel, straight up using your intuition. Ooh, okay. Now, set the intention that the ray will stay there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move it, your left hand, right to where your third eye would be, in between your brow, your eyebrow. And then you're going to take your right hand and put it right to the back. And the same thing again. Start with the pineal gland. Shooting out the ray through the front with the left hand. And shooting out a ray through the back with your right hand. Feel it. Feel all 3 that you have done so far. And breathe into it. Whew. And while you're doing this, something else will happen where a 4th ray will come directly down from up above through your crown, shooting straight down, allowing the length of the ray to be whatever intuitively you feel. And set the intention it will stay there. You can take your hands down. Just breathe with your crown now being activated. See if you feel the difference. Okay. Yeah, and you can open your eyes and we can move forward. Okay. So what we just did right there was open up your crown. And if you do that exercise, for, I'll say 5 minutes.
Will, we can't hear you.
You
I can't hear you. We can't.
Can you, Shubham, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
You're right, Michelle, maybe the volume. Where you in? Okay, so if you do this for 5 minutes, all right, so 1 minute for each one of these, and then give another minute holding those rays out there, And if you do that for 2 weeks, your crown will be fully activated for life. It's just that for a lot of us, we have not had it open at all. So if you do this exercise for 2 weeks, it will be open for life. And you can always go back and do exercise. It's not going to hurt you. All right. It's like kind of like polishing the shoe. It's going to keep it shiny. You're not going to hurt it. But please commit to doing that, because when you do it, you're going to start noticing things are going to change. And when you do it, it opens up yourself to be a fantastic, awesome channeler. Now, next thing we're going to do in terms of warming up is rubbing your hands together. So everything is energy, and you are definitely an energetic being. So what I want to do is I want to get to a regular practice that when we get together as a group, that we start feeling this energy that we have. You become more sensitive to it. That helps in terms of being a channeler to someone, like when we're talking about healing, and after you activate the chakras that are in your hands, you can use that as a source of sending energy, sending love, good intentions to people. So you take your hand and you're going to put them together like a little slap, almost like the Karate Kid, right? And you're rubbing your palms together. So you clap and then you rub your palms together and feel a little heat, a little friction. All right. Okay. All right. Now, another thing you can do is take your thumb and rub the center points to wake it up. Right? You can rub the center points to wake it up because there's a chakra right here. So you're just massaging in the middle, not enough where you're going to stick a hole through your hand. You're just telling it. You can even talk to it. All right, it's time to wake up, time to open up. Kind of like how my mama would talk to plants. Like, I think my mama's crazy. Why is she talking? These plants start talking back, I'm running up out of here. But my mom's plants would be just blossoming and growing. Okay, so now let's slap my hands together and rub them one more time. Should be fully awake. Get that friction there. Now pull your hands out and bring them back together until you feel a little pushback. Imagine a magnet. Imagine a magnet. And see how big your field is. If you go in too close, it's like a bubble. You bust it, right? And then you have to pull it back out. Like if I'm in here, it's gone because mine is out here. So wait till you feel it. It should be a slight pushback. Very slight. There we go. Now the cool part is last time we filled this bubble up with love and energy. You can do that. Just set the intention and you just use your mouth and blow out. Ooh, and you can feel it. There we go. When you get really good, you can even turn it upside down and feel it. And then whenever you're ready, I don't like wasting good energy. I like splashing it on me, rubbing it on me. My yoga teacher, she does a thing where we rub our hands together. And then after we rub our hands together like this, we put it on our face, giving ourselves the good energy. Now, if you're mean and a jerk, don't do this because you're spreading your jerkness. Don't do that. Whatever you are, that's what you're spreading. Whatever you kick out to people, that's what comes back to you. All right. So that being said, now 67 feet. So 67 feet is something that we do when we meditate, when we're about to channel, we're about to manifest. It takes us to that higher level. So when you close your eyes and just how we astral travel down to the heart, we go down to the heart and from that loving position, use it to almost leapfrog up past our crown, 67 feet in the air. Because at 67 feet, there's this flow of unconditional love, energetic unconditional love. And unconditional love is the most powerful energy in the world. You can heal things, you can move things, you can do things. So for those of you who are new, we're just going to close our eyes and do this right now. So close your eyes, focus on the pineal gland. And from there, we're going to drop our consciousness straight down to our heart. You may feel like an elevator as it lowers down to your heart. You may just say in your mind, go, heart, and you're automatically there. Whatever feels right for you. And once you're in your heart, think of someone that you love unconditionally. Or think of someone who loves you unconditionally. And feel that love throbbing like a heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Feel the power, feel the strength of that love. And when you're ready, set the intention and pull yourself up from inside your heart. Pull your consciousness up, bouncing off of the love from your heart, saying 67 feet above your head. And trust that at whatever point, your body will just know. Just like if you said you want to wake up at a particular time, your body automatically wakes up. It just knows. So just trust. And you should get to the point where you feel like you're suspended in air at 67 feet, feeling the flow, the love, the consciousness. Okay. Now, allow yourself to be lowered back down to the top of your head, to your crown, right back to your pineal gland. Lock yourself in, your consciousness back into your head. And you can say, it is done. And then open your eyes. Okay, so we're doing a lot of traveling today. It's like frequent flyer miles, spiritual miles we're getting today. Okay, the mantra. I wanted to talk to you about the mantra before I put you through the mantra. Now, Michelle's going to channel, okay? The beautiful part about meditation is that it can be so many things. You can use meditation to manifest. You want some money? Boom, there you go. Going with the law of attraction. You can use it to heal people, or you can also use it to channel. So when we say channel, think like water channel or water flows. If there's a blockage in that channel, in that body of water, that water isn't going to flow so well. It's blocked up. It can overflow and all types of bad things can happen. But when you have a good flowing channel, whoosh, the water just continues to go around. Colleen, I think your cat's trying to kiss you. It's like, you're going to pay attention to me, mommy. So when you have a mantra, you're setting the intention for what you want. And the one that I use and the words I use, you can always exchange your own words. Just with me growing up, when I think of God, the universe, I think of Heavenly Father, most times. Sometimes I think of Divine Mother. You may call it Gaia. You may call it infinite intelligence. You call it whatever you want to. But I'm telling you, the reasons behind the mantra is like a GPS. You set your GPS of where you want to go. You have to set your intentions. So this is just my way. So when I am by myself and not with a group of people, and I'm doing this either channeling or sending love and energy and healing to people, okay, or manifesting. When I get to 67 feet, this is what I say. Oh, Heavenly Father, I love you. And I know you love me too. We are one. as a child of God, I command messages for Amy. And then it flows. Now I want to go back because remember, you don't have to use my words. This is just a GPS type setting of where you want to go. So when I say, oh, Heavenly Father, I am dialing into what state am I in? Okay. What state do I want to go to? Right. Or what city I want to go to? Who am I talking to? Because you can dial into anything you want. You can dial into Colleen's higher self. I want to speak to Colleen's higher self. Colleen's higher self. I love you. I know you love us too. We are one. So again, this is the GPS. So that second part, when I say, I know you love me too, that's my acknowledgement that there's a strong signal, my acknowledgement that we're connected. And we are one. It's just like, okay, it's just like somebody said, hello, and you start talking back. Yeah, that's probably the best analogy I use. It's like calling someone on the phone, right? You got dialing the numbers, you have the area code, you have the other numbers, the phone's ringing, right? And then somebody says, hello. And then what do? Boom, you go right into it. So that's the mantra. Now, I want to talk about the chakras, okay? Show you the chakras, just the basic 7 that most people hear about. And I'm going to explain that and then get us in a state, and my shell automatically turn it over to you. So with my shell, what she does is once she connects, that all of us have spiritual guides. All of them are here now. It could be uncles, it could be aunts, it could be like ascended masters, it could be anybody. But all of us here, it's 19 of us, all of us have guides. Some of us may have even more than 19 guides. And they're like, scoot over, I want to talk to her. It happens. But when my shell channels, all our guides collectively become one. All of them become one, which is kind of cool. And then from that state of oneness, they put out a message that resonates with us. You get it. You just get it. It resonates in your soul. That means your chakras have to be open. And that's why I opened up the crown with everybody, so they can receive the messages, so you can hear. Because if you ever had a reading before, you're like, no, I don't remember having Aunt Sally that was cross-eyed. No, don't remember Aunt Sally. And then you talk to them, like, oh man, that Aunt Sally, I forgot about. Well, if we would have prepped better, right, before going into the reading, then more information would have resonated with us. So that's what goes on with my shell. And so I'm going to take a look at these chakras, because as we go through, and we keep building on and learning more and more and more. As we go through, you become a clearer channel for all these amazing things to happen. But you got to know what's up. So I'm going to go over this, and then I'll get us in that state. So these are the 7 basic chakras, all right, that people know about. And on the right-hand side versus the left-hand side, like 1, the lower chakra, okay, that deals with survival. The color associated with it is red. And when it's blocked, fear. Fear blocks this. So your channel can be blocked by fear, and we just got to let that fear go. And there's several different exercises we can do, but I'm going through this now so you can identify where is it. Like sometimes I get this feeling in my lower tummy, right? It's that being afraid. Because I try a lot of big goals where if you fail, you look stupid. And people will tell you, look at him. So I have to let go of that a whole lot. Shubhamai gave a speech in front of a whole bunch of people. And there's some fear on that day too. Just had to be able to let it go. The second one deals with pleasure. And also what can block it is guilt. So if you're not enjoying things as much, like I just love it when people say, I'm bored. I'm just bored. Well, if you're bored, that means you're boring. If you so we need to open up that chakra so you can enjoy yourself more. And the third one deals with willpower. So willpower is not like a muscle. Well, I just need to get me more willpower. Willpower is like a battery. Okay. Either you charge or you're not. Either you're getting the energy. Some days you can have more willpower than others. Sometimes I have more willpower in the morning. I can refuse that cookie. But in the afternoon, C is for cookie, and that is good enough for me. 4 deals with love. Love of self, love of others, and grief can block it. So when you see people watching the news all the time, yeah, they're getting shots. They're getting shots of grief on a daily basis. I mean, if they like human beings, it's almost impossible to watch the news and just be like, "Ooh, I think living sucks." I'm pretty sure. So you got to watch, what you're feeding yourself. And then the 6th one, third eye, is what some people call it, deals with insight. It's blocked by illusion. You can make a list of all the things that you think are wrong with you. Not tall enough, not good looking enough, don't have enough friends, don't have enough money. But they're all lies. That's an illusion. So you can go into meditation and get rid of that stuff, become a more clearer channel, and you feel lighter. You're like, "Whoa, I think I lost like 10 pounds just by getting rid of all that illusion." Okay? That inner talk that you have too clogs it off. Why do I try? Nobody's going to like this. What if? And then the higher one, the 7th one, cosmic energy. Really deals with cosmic energy and connecting it. It's blocked by ego attachment because you really have to be about oneness. Now, the last thing is, what do they look like? Because you see these symbols, that's not what your chakra looks like. It looks more like this, like a funnel. Okay? And it spins like this. And it's all these different energy points that are coming through at the same time. All right. So that's it for my lesson. And any questions about that, by the way, you can always put them in the chat. And with time at the end, we can go back. Now what I'm going to do is get everybody connected. And so we'll do a brief meditation. And then, Michelle, I'll turn it over to you to take over from there. So if everybody just get in a comfortable position, close your eyes. This is going to be a small amount of time, but be totally selfish. It's all about you right now. So just focus on your breathing. Now, focus on your pineal gland, which is inside your head. You may see swirls. Some people describe the pineal gland as being the color red. But focus on your pineal gland. And then lower your consciousness down to your heart. It may be like an elevator going down, or you just say, go heart. From your heart, let's focus on the vast capacity of unconditional love that's in your heart. Think of someone you love unconditionally, or think of someone who loves you unconditionally. Feel that massive, massive amount of love and joy. Now, from that point, feel the vibrations of love. Is it a beat? Is it a constant vibrating? Set the intention to pull yourself up, your consciousness up, pushing off from your heart, up 67 feet above your head. Now, and trust yourself that wherever your consciousness is, that it is 67 feet above your head in direct line with the vibrations of unconditional love. In the darkness, feel the light of unconditional love, divine love, flowing in you, around you, now. Become conscious of the other group members that are there at 67 feet with us. And notice how the love that flows through you flows to the next person. And it flows to the next person. How it circles around. How the love shoots out diagonally to each person, individually with you, and at the same time, all around you. Now, as I say this mantra, say it in your mind, place in any word that you like, but feel the love as it continues to float throughout our group as I say the mantra. Oh, Heavenly Father, we love you, and we know you love us too. We are one. As children of God, we command the receipt of divine and loving messages through my shell to the group. Now, it is done. It is done. It is done. My shell, I'll return it over to you to continue on with whatever flow you wish. And everyone can either stay in the state that you are now and receive, or open your eyes and receive the messages which are channeled through.
Thank you, Will. This was an excellent introduction, because when you're learning to channel, this is the exact state that you need to get yourself into. When you are having trouble discerning between your own voice or the voices of telepathy from the lower consciousness that's in your head, and discerning between your guides, your angels, your team, your higher self, that discernment in your everyday waking consciousness is very difficult. So you must take the time to quiet your mind, to quiet the lower vibrational voices so that you know what it feels like to tune into high vibrational voices, high vibrational communication, unconditional love. It is very important when you're beginning that you take this time to get yourself in an elevated state of receivership. Once you're practiced, it is not as necessary to go through such a ritual, for your vessel will be primed and tuned so that you can just elevate and be right in. But as you're learning, you may adopt some rituals to get you there. This will just brought us through a ritual to get us to an elevated state of receivership. It's not always necessary that you do this exact method. There are many, many methods out there. However, it will always entail clearing, opening, balancing your chakras, your energy centers. Will has explained to you why it's so necessary that your energy centers are cleared. That will be necessary. Elevating your emotion to unconditional love, that will be necessary. All of the other tools that you use, the techniques that you use, those you can use your intuition. Do you choose to light a candle? Do you choose to burn incense? Do you choose to have a certain room that you use? Do you choose a certain position that you sit in? Those are all optional. For choose your own, what feels best to you. However, you being in unconditional love and an open, clear vessel in an elevated state of consciousness is necessary. Now, by elevated state of consciousness, everyone in this group is aware of what it feels like to be outside of your body and into the universal love. Everyone here has experienced that. So this is very necessary, that this is where you get yourself at first to discern when you're getting messages from higher realms. Again, once you're practiced, you can get messages from higher realms anytime, any place, because you have opened your crown, you have cleared your chakras, you know what it feels like to receive unconditional love. So we would like to say that there are many ways to get messages. You have had many great teachers throughout the years. There are many wonderful divination tools that you can use that can help you tell the difference between what is your personality and what is coming from your team of helpers, what is coming from your higher self. There are many, many tools that can help you with this. For example, some people feel like if they are in nature, they can get communication through the natural world. Some people feel like if they are using a deck of cards or oracle cards or tarot, that they can communicate clearer, they can understand messages clearer. You can look into a candle, you can look into a fire, you can use ruins, you can use any tool if you feel it is necessary. However, we would like to say that if you are tapping into unconditional love from us, from angels, from your guides, from your higher self. There will be no negativity in that message at all. This is part of that discernment that we talk about. If there is negativity in the emotion or in the message, there two things have gone on. Either your ego self has gotten in the way, or you're not elevating high enough. You're tuning into, let's say, you're passed on energies, passed on spirits that are not advanced, they're not unconditionally loving, they're just in a different realm, they're just in the unseen. So they might not be where you want to be. You must lift yourself higher. You must lift yourself, your consciousness higher. This is why Will talks about 67 feet. If you're only lifted 15 feet, you might still be in the realm of duality, and still the realm of good and bad, light and dark. There's nothing wrong with that if you want the entertainment of it. However, if you're trying to tap into the truth, if you're trying to tap into loving messages that will really genuinely guide your life or help others, you have to lift yourself higher. You have to go higher, and that is always going to be loving, positive messages. Again, there are many tools. You need to trust yourself in which tools you use, and you have to trust the messages that it's always going to be unconditionally loving, or it didn't come from us. So another thing that you can do in the beginning is you can lift your vibration through music, through spending time with people you love, through doing art, whatever brings your soul joy, going out for a walk in nature. This, you can lift your vibration. And again, when you lift your vibration, how many of you recognize synchronicities that we send you when your vibration is higher? How many of you see the repeating numbers, or you turn on a song and the lyrics speak to your soul, or you wake up from a dream and you know that there's a message has been sent to you? How many of you see the gifts that we send to you, whether it's an animal going by and you look up, what does it mean that I saw this today? What the gifts that we give you, those synchronicities, you call them synchronicities. You will recognize those when you're elevated, when your consciousness is elevated, when you are feeling vibrationally high, when you are feeling loving. You see those, you recognize those. We're always sending them, you're not always seeing them. Once you start to recognize them, even more can come through. We can speak to you in many, many, many forms. You can state which forms you prefer that we speak to you, but also be aware and open-minded that we can come in many forms. We often come through friends or teachers or humans that you just happen to sit next to, or you happen to call, or you get inspired to have a conversation with. Sometimes they will give you the message. We encourage you to open a book, or if there's a book that you really resonate with, open the book one day and read what passage is there. We can speak to you in that way. There are many good teachers that have come in your past to tell you how to connect. We just ask you that you use your intuition on how you connect, how you stay connected, and be very aware that you must tap into unconditional love if you want true guidance. We would like to open up for questions. If anyone, that this is such a broad topic, And we can answer any questions if anyone has any about communication.
So Michelle, I'll start it off to give people a chance to type something in the chat or to come out into alpha state to be able to ask your question. So this is one of Alex Gray's drawings, and information is coming down as a father and his child are reading a book. You mentioned when you were first tapped in and channeling that we can receive messages through books and through divinely inspired conversations. Can they tell us more about that?
When you, in the tradition of ask and it is given, it's really true that you are never left alone. You are always, you are one with everything and all of us. And so things will fall into your lap. There will be visions that there will be art, there will be books, you will be inspired. You will learn from the physical environment. You are human, so you will learn. When you really, really tap in, you will also create. You will contribute your knowledge that you're getting from higher source. You will begin to create and put out so that others can also learn. They can also expand. They can also grow. So you might be inspired by art, and then you may be inspired to create art. And this all brings us connected. You may be inspired by a book, and then you may write a book. You see how it is just a form of connection, and it's a form of, more importantly, taking you from your ego awareness, which causes you a lot of suffering and a lot of detachment and a lot of emotions that you don't wish to have. The guilt and the shame, that's from separation. Once you tap into something bigger, you begin to feel peace, you begin to feel joy, you begin to feel oneness. And so this is why we encourage you to really trust wherever that comes from. You trust it, and then you develop that. You go with that. Did we answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you. So we have 3 questions that are in the chat right now. And if anyone, as we go through, if any question comes to your mind, put it through and we'll try to answer them as many as we can with the time we have left. So the first question, Stanley asks, I think this is of you. What's the source of your information, like you channeling?
For Michelle personally, ego Michelle, what's the source of information?
I think like today, the information that we're getting, what's the source?
Okay, so Michelle is tapped into. It's a weird combination. So right now it feels like Michelle, I am sort of on the back burner, and I'm just tapped into your higher selves in that area of 67 feet where your higher selves were, where your souls were, where your team, we are your team. We're ascended masters, we're angels, we're your guides. We have come into that space. We're always with you. We're always there, but you're not always aware. So Michelle gets in that space and pulls information from that, what we are putting in. Now she is a human vessel, so she has to interpret through her understanding, through her experience. All channeling is going to be colored by who is giving it. Just as you, when you are getting your messages, you must be aware that you are going to color it with your personality. So where she gets her information from, you are going to get your information from. You're going to tap into the information, the collective information of everyone. That's why it's important that you go high enough. You don't want to tap into the collective that's filled with fear right now. You don't want to tap into, which you will if you put your energy there and you tap into the people that are watching the news every day and they're afraid and they have this guilt and you can tap into that. You often do. We are encouraging you to tap higher, elevate elevate your consciousness higher. How do you do that? Through feeling love, through meditation, through clearing your chakras. You elevate higher. She pulls her information from this higher source of unconditional love. That's where we are hoping to teach you to pull your information from. Did we answer your question, Stanley?
Yes.
Great.
Excellent. Excellent.
So there's Gunleen had like a two-part. I'm going to give my answer to her questions, and then Michelle have you say if you agree or if you have any other messages that come down relating to the questions. So the question was, the first one, any advice on how to raise vibrations into unconditional love, especially when vibrations at the moment may perhaps be in anxiety or worrying about something. So if somebody's like, I want to feel that flow, that unconditional love, but emotionally myself, I'm not filled with it. So my response to that would be, just imagine that you are covered in mud and you go up to the ocean and you jump in. The ocean doesn't care what you're covered in. The ocean is going to be the ocean. So when you go up to 67 feet with that unconditional love, it doesn't matter what you came as. That unconditional love will clean and flow right on through you. You just set that intention for 67 feet and you'll jump in the ocean of love. The second part of the question is how to momentarily detach from those obsessive thoughts and tap in. There's a technique that we teach in meditation through Willpower, which is you imagine a box. You imagine a box and you let anything in your mind go into that box at the very beginning of meditation. It's like a bottomless box. So any worry, any obsessive thoughts, everything. Sometimes I put my whole self in that box and just imagine it being sucked into that box. And once that box, I finish putting stuff in there, I put a lid on top of it. And then with my mind's eye, I just slide that box out of the way. Any worry, any compulsion, any obsessions, any thoughts that keep flowing through. And sometimes in the middle of meditation, if those thoughts or like, did I turn off the stove? Is the water running? If any of those thoughts come in, I shoot them back into that box and put a lid on it. Michelle, what are your thoughts or any information
So
you need?
they're saying, okay, let me tap into that. So we have two suggestions for you. One, we said last week how important it is that you meditate daily. This is because at the beginning of your day, if possible, we know it's not always possible, but at some point in your day, if you elevate yourself just as Will beautifully put it, if you jump into the ocean, no matter what you have on you, it will wash away, because you've raised your consciousness to that elevated state of unconditional love. So it doesn't matter if you can get yourself there. And we understand when there is times of very high stress and there is times of just overthinking, which you do so much, it's very hard to get yourself into the ocean. You're too busy to get to the beach. You can't even get to the ocean. But with more practice, with daily practice, you can get yourself into that spot. Now, let's say that you spent 20 minutes. Let's say you spend an hour. The beauty of that is that you bring that with you throughout your day. So then no matter what is happening, you can't be pulled down into the mud as easily, because your consciousness started your day there and you've had the intention to stay with unconditional love. So it helps in that way. But we would like to give another technique that we've been trying to teach that we think is very important in times like these. Think of this. Let's say that you're at work and it's crazy and there are people who are irritating you, or you're at school and you're being asked to do things you don't want to do and you are frustrated and you're irritated. These are very human experiences. We want to ask you to take a moment and consider this. What you know that once what you put out in the world, you get back. You know this. This is, some of you term it karma or cause and effect, or what you put out, you get back. But we want you to look at it. Will, you have a picture of the chakras and the Merkaba. Yes, you have a Merkaba picture. Maybe you could pull that up and show them, so that you can see that what you're putting in, you are giving back, not just to you, but we want you to think of it this way. You are giving something to the world, and the world has that to share. So not only are you putting out something that you personally are getting back, but you are putting out something that everyone is getting. This is on a personal level. It's on a family level. It is on your community, your town level. It isn't on your country level. It is on a human level. What you are putting out to humanity, humanity is getting from you. So in this time that someone is irritating you, or you are feeling, you're feeling emotions that you don't want to be having, we want you to think of this. This is what I'm contributing right now to the world. This is what I'm giving to everyone. Is this what I want to be giving? Is this how I want to make the world a better place? And we promise you that you're strong enough to turn that around immediately. You can say no matter what craziness these people are bringing to me. I refuse to put that back out. If you are seeing that make you quite fearful, you just say, no, I refuse to perpetuate that. I refuse to put that back out into the world. I choose to put out peace. I choose to put out goodness. I am going to block. And it's really hugely important that you do this, because you are light workers. You are not here today if you are not a light worker. You came here with a responsibility, and that is to hold light in times of chaos, in times of darkness. You came here to shine light. So you cannot allow, and you must be aware of how precious your space is inside your head. What you allow in there is what you are giving to yourself and to us all. And so we want you to be very aware of when you are allowing other people, low vibrational situations, to lower down your vibration and pull you into the mud rather than you cleaning their mud off. You want to be pulling them in the ocean with you to rub the mud off, not them pulling you out of the ocean to get in the mud. So you have to make the conscious decision that when you are feeling anxious, you change your thoughts. You have a choice. When there are stressors that are coming into your life, you have to make the conscious decision to say, no, I'm just going to take a moment and I'm going to take some deep breaths and I'm going to push peace and unconditional love out of myself. That's what I'm giving to this situation. You have to decide. You are strong enough. You came here with that mission. Did we answer your question?
Marcia, put up the image of the 12 chakras and with the Merkaba being at the top.
I love that. They, I think, are talking about the one that shows the field that from that shows the field that goes around. I think that you have a picture. They're close. It's not on your computer. It's there next to you. It's a picture that you have of the field of energy.
That one?
That's not the one. It's okay. They just, if it was handy, they said it's a good visual. Maybe we'll find it for next week. Yes. Hold that back up. That's good. It's helpful. That artist is very tuned into the truth. That artist really does depict the truth of how your energy field, how it comes through you and it goes around you, and then everyone has access to that. We love this artist's interpretation of the truth of what you put out into the world and what you get from the world. So
I don't know what you were talking about though. Okay.
Yeah, you showed it last week, but that's okay.
Yeah. Cleaning crew came through, so my stuff ain't all in the same place today. So why don't we go to the next question? Because I know there was like at least 2 more that were being asked by people. The next one, Bob and I had a question that the guys kind of answered in terms of the importance of meditating every day to stay elevated. And you literally said, we talked about how important it is to meditate. And Amy had a question, how do you figure out what your guys want from you? So the answer I'll give, Amy, and then we'll have Michelle tell us what they're being said. You know, you can ask yourself questions and listen to that first voice that comes through. Your ability to not filter that first voice, not second guess it, to trust it, is paramount. And that's something that, you know, you just gradually do more and more. When you ask a question, see where the answer comes from. Does it come from the left side of your head, the right? Where does it physically come from? And take note of that. When it's right and when the answer is wrong. So for me, when I know it's coming from my guides or divine, it's from right here, because this is the right answer, just through trial and error. Over here, if I feel the answer comes is wrong. So if I asked you, for instance, what color shoes do I have on right now? And you ask your higher self, what color shoes does he have on right now? Where does that answer come from? That thought. Where do you physically feel it? Now the answer is, I don't have on any shoes right now. So depending on where that answer came from, there you go. And you just do it over and over again. You ask something else. Where's my mother right now? Okay. Where is those things, those answers you want? And then you just feel where they come from. Michelle, what are you getting? What are your thoughts in terms of the question being, how do you know what your guides want you to do?
Yes. First of all, we would like to say we would like to just add a little more encouragement about your daily meditation. We want you to know that the universe, that higher power that all of you believe in, but you all name different things, has love and guidance for you every day. And when you meditate, it is like you saying to us, thank you, please, welcome. I welcome your messages. I want you to communicate. It is like you showing up to a conversation. Meditation is like you showing up genuinely at a conversation where you want to learn and you want to share and you want to grow. It is like you saying to us, I want to participate with you. And when you choose to put meditation on the last of your priority list, it is you not showing up to say, I want to participate with you. We'll still guide you, we'll still be in your ear, but it's a different level of respect. We'll say it that way. Next. So for my shell, I'm scooting my consciousness up in here a little louder. So for me personally, my shell, when now it's a little different because my information comes like in chunks and comes out. However, when I first was learning to tell the difference, I love that this is exactly the opposite, because it just goes to show you that your communication will come differently. I knew from sitting in meditation and quieting my mind and pushing the thoughts out, I learned to figure out that my thoughts come from the top of my head, and my guides, my angels, whoever was talking to me would come in through the back of my head. I've heard some people, psychic people, they say they turn their right ear up to this heavens because they can hear better. I think it's funny that they say that. For me, I would do that because that would actually apply pressure to the spot in my head, in the back of my head, where the communication came from. I would actually be like pushing, and also humans have humans have a jumbled way of communicating, whereas spirit will flow easier. Now, we would like to encourage some homework quickly. We just think that this is an excellent tool. And you get yourself into that elevated state. Say a prayer or a mantra in order to set your intention. And then write down a question and 100% trust the immediate answer that you get. Do not analyze, do not sit and think, well, that doesn't make any sense. I can't figure out how that was true, or that doesn't, but what about this? Well, no. You ask the question and immediately write the answer and trust that answer. Do this process. When you have a question, do your little bit of process of clearing your chakras, elevating your emotion to love, saying a mantra, saying a prayer, get yourself a little elevated. Write out a question, type out a question, and immediately trust the answer. You can analyze it, you can argue with it later. Don't argue with it then. If you need to, if you're so out in space when you get yourself elevated, write down the questions first before you get started. But then have a way, maybe you might need to speak into a voice recorder if you're not able to actually pick up your pencil or type. in an elevated state, put a little microphone there. If you got a friend that's really open-minded, ask your friend to listen, and you'll just say it and they can take some notes for you. So try that in order to communicate as a tool.
That's awesome. And at least 3 minutes left too. So what I'm going to do is in the chat to everyone, I have pasted the meetup link for next Sunday's session. So next Sunday is when we have the global meditation. So we just constantly getting messages and reminders that we need to meditate more. And when we meditate as a group, the energy and the power of that group is so powerful. Even when we went up today with that unconditional love of 67, I could feel it. And it always blows me away every time we do this together. So next Sunday at the same time, you can come here and you can participate in that global meditation when we're sending out light and love. I want to thank everybody for participating. Definitely, especially the fact that you're telling others and others are finding out about this. Amy, this is absolutely a loving group for people to come and talk about things that are top of mind and what you want to do. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the YouTube live, and we had some questions that came in through the chat, but I think we answered all of those. And I'm just going to open it up to the group to discuss any experiences that you had today or any thoughts that are on your mind. And I'm going to ask my brother, Chris, to go first, because Chris is a spiritual giant of his own. And I'm trying to scoot him out more so that people can benefit from his wisdom. So Chris, what are your thoughts from the day on anything?
Well, I mean, I resonated a lot with what she was saying about the workplace. And, I don't know if I shared this with you before, but there's like some techniques that I do because you kind of get in this emotional struggle sometimes, and you can't block that out and get